Hello, today in our geometry lesson, we're going to talk about types of angle measurements and types of angles along with that. So we're going to be on page 34 of our notebook. So we'll go ahead and start taking some notes there. Okay, so we're going to talk about types of angles and their measurements. Okay, we talked about on page 33 some types of angle pairs, and these are going to be, there'll be some angle pairs in it, but it will mainly be standalone angles. So we have other types of angles. And these angles you may be more familiar with. So the first one we're going to look at is acute. An acute angle has a measure between 0 and 90. The angle cannot be 0. If it was, we wouldn't have an angle, and it cannot be 90 because it would be a different angle that we're getting ready to talk about. So the next one is a right angle. And a right angle has a measure of 90 degrees, which we've talked about several times before. So acute angle, a right angle. We have an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle has a measure a measure between 90 and 180. It cannot be 90 and it cannot be 180. Another one here, we have a straight, excuse me, a straight angle has a measure of 180. Okay, so those are 4 standalone types of angles that we have talked about before. The next ones are kind of pairs of angles. So the next one we have are adjacent. Adjacent angles share a side and a vertex, but no interior points, which I'll go through and draw examples here of everything once we get the definitions down. The next thing are complementary angles. These are angles that add to 90 degrees. Okay, so if you have 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees, they are complementary. We have supplementary. These are angles that add to 180. So 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees. And then the last one we're going to look at here on this page are a linear pair. So linear pair are adjacent angles that form a straight angle. All right, I said I'd go through and kind of draw a type of angle of each one. So we'll start with an acute angle, which is less than 90. So if you notice, all these blue boxes have 90-degree angles. So we want something less than that. So if I draw an angle like this angle right here is acute. It is less than 90. Here we have a right angle or 90-degree, and we show 90 degrees by putting this box right there. Okay, an obtuse angle is greater than 90. So if I go straight up there, that'd be 90. So I just need to go something more than that. So this angle right here is obtuse. A straight angle has a measure of 180. So on this, you're just going to draw a line. Okay, a line has a measure of 180 degrees. Okay, adjacent angles share a side and a vertex, but no interior points. The no interior points just means that they don't overlap one another. Okay, so if this is one angle, an adjacent angle to it would be right here. So you have this angle and this angle. They share a vertex and one side, but they don't overlap. Something that might overlap, and I'll use my little arcs. If we talk about this big angle and this little angle, those overlap. Okay, they share these things. They share a vertex, they share this side, but they overlap one another. So that is not an example of adjacent. Complementary angles add up to 90. They don't have to be touching one another. So let's just say I have this angle here and I have this angle over here. Okay, let's say that this angle here is 30 degrees and this angle over here is 60 degrees. If you add those up, 30 and 60 will make 90. So those are complementary angles. Supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180. Again, they do not have to be touching. So let's draw this angle here, and we'll call this 130 degrees. And then I'll draw this angle right here, and we'll call this 50 degrees. So 50 plus 130 makes 180. And a linear pair is a combination of adjacent and supplementary angles. So it has to form a line. So we'll draw a line. And we'll draw two angles here. So this angle, let's say, is 140. And this angle here is 40. So they form a straight angle. Okay, they add up to 180. They're on a line and they're adjacent. Okay, this is a linear pair because we call it linear pair because it's a pair of angles that form a straight line. All right, so we can apply these to geometric pictures like this. Okay, and we can see which ones add up to 90 or which ones add up to 180. Okay, based on the pictures. Remember, a little square here means 90. So if we look at a little picture here, and then in that picture, we might label this as angle A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, and it could say like, name a pair of adjacent angles. Well, E and F are adjacent. Name a pair of complementary angles. Well, A and B are complementary because they add up to that 90 degrees. Name a linear pair. Well, I don't think on here I have one pair, but supplementary angles, that would be F, E, and D. They add up to 180. So it's finding these angle types on a picture like that. So you're going to have an IXL practice again as we head towards taking the B.1, or sorry, the C1, the third unit first quiz on angle pairs and their measurements. All right, thanks for watching this lesson. If you have questions, please let me know.